Now, this is a story all about how the 49ers turned the draft straight upside down. Now, I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I'm going to tell you the story about how the 49ers definitely might take Mac Jones over Justin Fields in this NFL draft and make everybody change their plans. What in the world, Bo? My name is Big Low Kuntry. I hope everybody's doing good tonight. If y'all ain't never seen me before, I'm just old country boy. Love to sit around, talk about sports, talk about football, basketball, everything else. And, you know, we just sit around, we talk, and we just sip on some water, stay well hydrated. Number one rule is what's in my cup is in my cup. It might be water, it might be moonshine, but if you see me smiling, that just means I'm happy to see you. Hey, man, so I just want to talk to y'all. This whole NFL draft situation is going crazy. So we know last week, 49ers pulled this major trade, moving up to number 3 in the draft. Now, we know we have a pretty good idea that Trevor Lawrence is going to go number 1. We also got another good idea that Zach Wilson is going to go number 2. It don't matter if Sam Darnold's still there in New York or not. I could very seriously see them trading Sam Darnold away during the draft. But anyway, now number 3, that's the question. Now, I'm a homeboys in San Francisco. I'm a San Francisco 49ers fan. Shouts out to Jay in the Bay. Shouts out to CG Roof to Sports. All them telling me that they're hearing rumors and rumblings about how the 49ers might be taking Justin Fields. Like, what in the world, bro? I mean, look. Okay, so if we think about this situation, you're moving up for a reason. I mean, I'm not gonna sit up here and judge somebody else's team and say that Jimmy Garoppolo ain't the guy. I don't think he's the guy, but you're moving up for a reason. Now, whenever you move up like that, it's one of those situations where there's a generational talent, or there's just a guy there that you just legitimately want to make your guy. He's the guy that you legitimately want to hit your wagon to. Now, I'm legitimately thinking, and just looking at Kyle Shanahan and his past. Now, y'all know a lot of the coaches that are listening to this show, they say all the time, Big Low, you get naked for Kyle Shanahan. I say, so I don't care. It don't matter. You think what you think. Kyle Shanahan's my favorite coach in the NFL right now. When it comes to the X's and the O's, runs these beautiful zone running schemes. Now, I think that whenever he gets in Super Bowls and late game situations, he might need to pass the calls off to somebody else. But, they got to get back there first. But the fact of the matter is, Kyle Shanahan, he's my favorite coach in the NFL, right? So I think if you look at Kyle Shanahan and his past, you look at what he's done with so many different quarterbacks over the years. Look at what Kyle Shanahan did with Matt Schaub. Look at what Kyle Shanahan did with RG3. You can say Kirk Cousins. Look at what Kyle Shanahan did with Brian Hoyer. People forget that Brian Hoyer was balling before he tore his ACL. A good while back now. But before he got hurt, Brian Hoyer was balling. And guess who the offensive coordinator was? Kyle Shanahan. Now, we could legitimately say that the 2 biggest names that Kyle Shanahan had that did well when he was coaching them was Matt Ryan, when he won the MVP, and RG3, Robert Griffin III. Now, moving forward, if I compare what both guys did, so RG3, he won the Rookie of the Year, and he made some very, very big plays. Very, very big plays. A lot of people thought that he was going to be the next it guy for the long term, next 15 years. He was going to be the coach for that Washington football team. I mean, the quarterback for that Washington football team, and he was going to transcend that whole city. Now, we all know the story about what happened to RG3. It didn't work there. But for that year and a half, it was magical. Now, Matt Ryan, on the other hand, Matt Ryan, he got that MVP. Whenever Kyle Shanahan first started working with Matt Ryan, it was kind of touch and go. We heard all the rumors and the rumblings that they wasn't really getting along. But, I say this all the time as a coach. Anytime you make someone feel uncomfortable and you're trying to help them get better, that's when they get better. Matt Ryan felt uncomfortable, and look, he did things that he never did before, and eventually he got better. He became a better quarterback. So, looking at the other side of the spectrum, fast forward a few years, I got a guy that's coming out of college that looks a lot like RG3. Very athletic, has a rocket arm, could make all kinds of plays with his legs. That's Justin Fields. Then I have the guy who's, very, very detailed, a very good leader, really focuses on the mechanics, focuses on the details of the game, and Mac Jones. Now, reason I say that is because I legitimately don't think that it's a foregone conclusion that Justin Fields is going to be going to the San Francisco 49ers. I legitimately don't think that's the case. If we look at what the San Francisco 49ers and what Kyle Shanahan's done over the course of his career, first of all, they got that zone running scheme. They got it down pat, right? So they got that down. With that zone run blocking scheme, one of the best attribute, or one of the best attributes that you have to have as a quarterback is, number one, knowing where all of your receivers and knowing your progressions and knowing where to go with the ball. And number two, play action. You got to know how to pull it back, set your feet, turn your shoulders, and throw. So looking at what both guys did in college, and look, I think Justin Fields is a heck of a player. And I think if he gets put in the best situation to, kind of get coached up on, those just reading defenses and making sure that he gets his mechanics down to help him improve his accuracy, he might be a beast for years to come. And I'm going to be feeling bad if we're playing Justin Fields in the playoffs in 2024, 2025, or even 2022. I would be kicking myself if the Falcons passed up on him and he turns out to be a beast. But, coulda, woulda, shoulda won the ball game. If we're a fifth, we'd all be drunk. But fact of the matter is that I think what would work best for the San Francisco 49ers, Mac Jones' skill set will work best. You're in a situation where you can do play action. He knows how to read the defenses. He knows how to manipulate safeties. He knows how to throw with anticipation. I'm just saying. I know that. Look, I know this isn't the popular opinion, and I always give the unpopular sports takes. And it's cool. I can definitely take it. Everybody that want to knock me in the comments, I reply to all comments. So y'all make sure that y'all comment, because I want to know everybody's opinion. But look, I said this before. I legitimately think that, and I heard that the 49ers were trying to move up to get Zach Wilson. They were trying to move up to the second pick. The Jets vetoed it. They said that they didn't want to do it. So they had to settle. For the third pick. So since they settled on the third pick, moving forward, if I couldn't get Zach Wilson, what's my consolation prize? If I couldn't get a guy with Zach Wilson's skills, if I couldn't get Zach Wilson and his skill set, who's the other guy in the draft that has the skill set like Zach Wilson? Mac Jones. Look, I'm just throwing it out there. And like I said, y'all can think I'm crazy and everything. Everybody might be saying I'm drinking too much water / moonshine. You can think whatever it is you want to think. But I'm just thinking about this from a coach's perspective. I don't want to put a square peg in a round hole. And with this, like I said, with this zone run blocking scheme, I want a guy that could legitimately run the offense. Because look, we've seen over the years that Kyle Shanahan's offense, it works. So why bring someone in where we would have to legitimately change the offense. Why change the offense for someone when the offense just works? We could just bring in a guy who could run that offense. For all my mechanics out there, you're not going to put a Ford motor in a Chevrolet truck. You can't do it. You can't do it, Bo. Unless it's just some situations, and some of y'all mechanics are just that good out there, but you can't do it, Bo. You know, I ain't trying to put a Ford fuel pump in my Chevrolet. You know, I'm Team Ford all day, but you know, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So now what does this mean for the rest of the draft? If the San Francisco 49ers actually made that move, the move that I think that they should make, well, this squad right here, the Atlanta Falcons, they might have some decisions to make. You know, if you just chill out at 4 and Justin Fields drops in your lap, what you gonna do with that? Because it's the same. I mean, it's the same situation. So let's say that, you know, you draft at 4. Let's say the Atlanta Falcons draft at 4, and they skip over Justin Fields. Justin Fields goes to he goes to the Carolina Panthers. And I know the Carolina Panthers fans that are listening to this, they slobbering at the mouth right now. They just salivating. They slobbering at the mouth like they eating a hot bone right now. Like a dog eating a hot bone. That's how they slobbering at the mouth. Just me mentioning the fact that Justin Fields could go to the Carolina Panthers. But look, let's say that happened. Let's say that the Falcons passed on Justin Fields at 4 and he goes to another team and he's a Hall of Famer. How do you bounce back from that? So this could legitimately be one of the most important drafts. I mean, not just for the 49ers and not just for Kyle Shanahan and his future, not just for the Falcons, but we see that the way that drafts unfold, it affects the pick that happens in the third pick. It affects teams all the way down the line. You know, there's the butterfly effect. What happens over here affects what happens over here. So look, man, I'm definitely excited, and we're going to continue to break down, you know, what's going to happen in this draft and break down players and tendencies and who will fit best with what team. Now, for everybody that's checking me out for the first time, make sure that you do a country boy favor. You hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you hit the like button. And, you know, like I said, I reply to all comments. We get together and we go live all the time. And, you know, I talk with everybody. So make sure that y'all subscribe so y'all know the next time that we go live, man. Y'all be easy. Don't do nothing that I would do. Rise up. A-time down.